Okay, part 2. New game for my DS, as I said. And seems like a great game, and I think I may be able to actually pick up at least some Japanese from just playing the game. The thing is that having bought a new game for my DS, it now seems like I may have to buy a new DS for my game. Because 2 of the buttons on my DS are broken. And on the game I had been playing, the only DS game that I'd brought with me, that was just an inconvenience. The only thing it really prevented me from doing was running away from battles. Everything else I could do, it was maybe a little less convenient than it was intended, but I could do whatever else I wanted. Phantasy Star Zero, no. Those 2 buttons being broken is so limiting. I can't even name my characters what I want to name them, because the buttons in question are the L and R buttons on the little, they're usually referred to as the shoulder buttons, and they're what I would be using to switch between alphabets. So the default alphabet is hiragana, and if I wanted to name my characters in katakana, which I do, I have to press the R button. And if I wanted to name them in Roman letters, which I could if I wanted, I don't want to, but I could, I'd press the R button a second time. And then if I wanted to go back, you press, it's left and right, and they do that kind of a function. But I can't. I can only name my characters in hiragana, and that doesn't seem like it would be a problem. But for some reason, having these names in hiragana inserted into the dialogue is so disorienting. Because I keep thinking that they're part of the words before or after them, and not recognizing them as characters' names, at least in part because every other name in the game, the name of every character that is not mine in the game, is in katakana. Every single one. So that alone is frustrating, but it doesn't really affect gameplay. It just is a little annoying. But what does affect gameplay is that without the L and R buttons, I can't check the stats of any equipment I get. So if I get some new staff, I can't tell if it's any good. I don't know what would happen if I equip it. I don't know if I want to equip it or if I want to sell it or what. I have no clue. So there's that. And probably the big killer is that normally you would use the R button to switch between your main set of abilities and your backup set of abilities. Basically, the game is designed so that you have easy access to 6 abilities. You can use any 6 of your various techniques and items and whatnot, and you can switch back and forth between. You set 3 on your main and 3 on your backup, and you can switch back and forth between them with relative ease. And this gives you instant access to 6 different abilities, and that's very good, because you will need a variety of different attacks and healing, and they actually have a dodge in this game, which they didn't have in this is sort of a remake, but it's also sort of a new game. I'd almost want to say it's more like they're using the combat system of the old game, but telling a completely different story, which I'm all for. Although it also means I have no idea what's going on. I have a little bit of idea. Anyway, but because I can't press the R button, I'm limited to 3 abilities, and it's not enough. It's really, really not enough. I can switch them, but I have to go into the start menu and do all sorts of things with that, and the battles don't pause. The battles go on around me while I'm doing that. So if I try to do that in a boss battle, which is when I would most need it, most probably, then I'm going to freaking die. And so it's no good. I can't do it. But at the same time, I don't want to buy a new DS just for that. But also, those are, that's about a third of the buttons on the game system that don't work anymore. And the warranty is expired. I can't send it in to Nintendo and have them fix or replace it. It's past that point. If I'm going to keep playing with this system, and I do want to, I'm probably going to have to buy a new one. It's just a pain and kind of expensive. Ugh. Okay, so now that I've spent the last 6 minutes ranting about video games that most of you don't care about, now I'm going to talk about an RP that most of you don't care about, which is kind of based off of the manga I was doing over break, which I mentioned I think in the last log that I was doing a manga to try to keep up my Japanese skills. I did not quite finish it, but I'm still going to work on it. Excuse me. But I ended up starting an RP of it. Probably the only person who cares about this at this point is Chrislyn. I don't know if Jade watches these. Do you watch these, Jade? I don't remember. Anyway, so nobody, as far as I know, figured out what that manga was supposed to be an adaptation of, and it's actually Scooby-Doo. Because I thought it would be funny to just do Scooby-Doo in a completely different setting. But now we've started an RP with that. Me and Jade and somebody I've never RP'd with before, but who seems pretty good. They don't know terribly much about the Japanese school system, it appears, which normally wouldn't be a problem, but this is set in Tokyo at a high school, so I may have to educate them a little bit, but, not really a problem, just they don't know all the specifics of the setting. Just, I'm sure if I tell them politely that this is kind of how it's working, it will be fine. Because I seem like a very patient and understanding sort of player. And, what else? Oh, I meant to put up my babble about the Sherlock Holmes movie that I recorded that, at least a week ago. Except I recorded it several times and still not satisfied with how it came out. I kept going over and feeling like I had babbled about things I didn't need to. And so I'm probably going to try it again and then put that up. Yeah.